Anyway, back to the colorless lands in my cube. Like I said, Urza Saga, a card I've really enjoyed playing with. I really need to pick up another blueprint foil. I have one of those in the Degenerate Micro Cube, and I think it looks so good. I really, really love it. It's really pretty. Here is one of the crown jewels of my collection. This foil Rashadan Port. I love Rashadan Port. I think Wasteland is a little too unfair for my cube. I think Rashadan Port is exactly in the sweet spot of the kind of disruption I want on lands. I think it's really cool, and I don't ever plan on cutting it. I love my little foil Rashadan Port. And then the Wasteland in question. I do play Wasteland right now as a pet card. I honestly think it doesn't belong in my cube. I think it is too good, too unfair. It's part of a resource denial plan that almost no other cards are a part of. I don't include cards like Strip Mine, and there's so many non-basics in my cube that this is not that far off from Strip Mine, to be perfectly honest. But, I've got this cool old foil with the T.S. Eliot quote on it, and I just really want to play with Wasteland, and that's what cube is for, playing with the cards you like. So there it is. City of Traders. This card oozes cool. Does it ooze good? Not really in my cube, no. It's not that great. My curve is so low that I don't have that many colorless mana costs in a lot of decks, so it's actually kind of a build-around. I think the deck it's best in is probably the green deck that plays Collected Company and is a little bit lower curving, the not big ramp green deck, but the green deck that basically wants to play a bunch of 3-drops, because getting to play a 3-drop on turn 2 even without a mana dork, and then play another 3-drop on turn 3 before you sacrifice your City of Traders is a really powerful opening. So yeah, I don't think it's the best card in my cube. I'll put the Ancient Tomb right here next to it. Ancient Tomb, honestly, in a similar category, though I think that one is better in the big ramp deck as well. So these are almost kind of mono green cards, to be perfectly honest. Both of these cards, because you'll see I have only 8 colorless lands, and that's because I have so many low curving cards with colored costs in their mana symbols that colorless lands are a big cost. And are you going to play City of Traders or Ancient Tomb in your mono white or mono red deck? Probably not most of the time. So these two cards are almost secretly mono green. I've got my cool Winter Mishra's Factory here. Fun fact, I saw an ad on Craigslist once for an old Magic collection, and I went to check it out at this guy's house, and it was not the kind of situation where the guy didn't know what he had, which I have mixed feelings about anyway. I don't love the idea of taking advantage of somebody that doesn't know what they have, even if they're ostensibly happy to sell it for $100 and it's worth $1,000 or whatever. This guy knew what he had, but he had the most insane collection I've seen in a long time. It was a whole binder just full of hey, he had a whole page of Lorwyn Thoughtseize foils, and it was just nuts. I picked up all 4 of the Mishra's Factories from him in that sale. There's a Mutavault. You love to see a Mutavault. I think the new Mishra's Land is also very good, but I don't think I have room for it in my own cube. And here's maybe the card I underrated on power level the most in my cube in the history of time, and that's Field of the Dead. I really thought this was unplayable in my cube, because for the aforementioned reasons, colorless lands are a tough slot. You have to really justify their inclusion. My cube is really low curving. The games are really fast. How many times are you even going to get to 7 lands? And have the 7 lands be all different names is another hurdle to jump through. And I honestly can't even describe exactly why it's so good. It's just when you get to the point in the games where it does matter, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you die first, right? Well, Tentacle Monster, you're smarter than most of us, I think. I think most of us had to have it proven by Constructed. But yeah, once you get to the point in the game where you do get to trigger this thing, it's lights out. And again, it's another card that prevents what would otherwise maybe be a board stall. So there are my 8 colorless lands. Honestly, City of Traders is probably not long for this world in here. I want to get a prettier version of Urza Saga, but other than that, I like my little colorless land package. Oh boy, you had Golos Field in a 2-headed giant pre-release? How'd you do that? Were they even in the same set? Golos was in M20? I guess Golos was in M20, right? Yeah, it was. Wow. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, I love my foil port chill. It's one of the crown jewels of my collection. I was saying on the stream last night that I think the old land frame in foil is, I think, the prettiest Magic card you can get. Love it.